Hey, how are you doing? Bill DeWeese here from voice-over-training.org, hoping that you are staying busy and doing well in your voiceover business. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about and hopefully encourage you with the idea of hitting critical mass in your business. And to illustrate that, have you ever found a little bit of food maybe in the floor of your kitchen that had attracted a couple of ants? And if you left it there, decided to come back later to clean that up, you may have come back and found that that went from a couple of ants to perhaps 10 or 15 ants. And if you leave it there a little bit longer, it goes to 100, a couple of hundred ants, which is why, obviously, you want to clean a mess up like that as quickly as you can. Or perhaps you've driven by a pond and noticed a little bit of, that pond scum that kind of develops around the edges. And you went past a few days later and you noticed there was more of that algae-ish type growth taking over the pond. And within a week or two, the pond is almost completely covered in that algae. That is exponential growth. That's where growth goes from incremental, where it may go from, let's say, 5, 10, 15, 20, to exponential, where it goes from 5, 10, 25, 50, 100, 200, 1,000, and so on and so forth. It's like you've heard the principle of compounding interest. You invest in a mutual fund, and over the first few years, the growth curve looks like this. Maybe not such a big deal. But as 5 years, 10 years, 20 years starts to pass, your growth begins to skyrocket. The same thing can happen in your voiceover business if you just keep a couple of things in mind and implement a couple of principles. First of all is the principle of consistency, much like investing in a mutual fund. You can't just throw in a few bucks here, a few bucks there, and expect that over 10 or 20 years to accumulate $500,000 or $1 million. You have to put the right amount of investment in on a regular and ongoing basis. The same is true with your voiceover business. And it's very difficult at first. I know because I've been there. When you start from scratch, when you start from nothing, it feels like you're putting in this much effort to get this much result. But if you continue to work your marketing plan, you make the contacts, and you begin to send out the postcards or the emails or make the phone calls, what you'll find out is that over time, the amount of work may become less that you put out, and the amount of return, what you're getting back from your business, begins to grow. And I was reminded of this recently because, let me back up a little bit. You've probably heard me say that I really firmly believe that anybody that has a reasonable amount of skill or ability that starts a voiceover business can grow that to a six-figure business within 12 months. There's no doubt that a lot of work goes into that. And I believe somebody with maybe less skill and experience, it may take 18 months to get to that place. But the good news is that after that, you can grow your business beyond that, and you can and as you begin to get more clients, and those clients begin to trust you, and they begin to give you more work, and they begin to refer you to other people, new clients. What you'll find is that it doesn't take as much effort to get more work, so that your income from that point can quickly grow from there. My biggest problem in my business now is not getting enough business. It's managing the business that I have. And as of late, it's really started to become quite a chore for me to handle. I have a full-time assistant now, and I've probably mentioned to you before, my daughter is my assistant, so she works a full 40 hours a week of helping me to manage and prioritize and to be able to serve my clients well. But I have a client that I brought on board early on. I've been recording voiceovers as a living for about the past 4.5, going on 5 years. And one of my earlier clients that I picked up maybe a year into my business I've treated them well, and they've treated me well, but they're giving me more and more business now. As a matter of fact, they've been giving me a lot of business as of late. I've had a number of clients now that have referred other friends and associates of theirs to me because they trust the work that I do. And I've got businesses that I have been marketing to that have not given me work for years that they come to fruition after a while. And I just brought on a new client. I was contacted by them yesterday, somebody that I've been in communication with for years, several years, that just told me yesterday that they're working on possibly bringing me a project that will be upwards of 100 hours of work. to begin with, and possibly more beyond that. And I've got other, and that's just a few examples. This kind of stuff is happening on a regular, ongoing basis for me. So where my biggest problem now is managing the volume of work that I have. And I say all that, I'm not saying that to brag about my business. What I'm saying is that if you follow the principles and don't get discouraged in the principles of working your marketing plan, of putting in consistent effort over an extended period of time, the clients that you get will bring you more work as they trust and like your work. They will refer you to other people, and people that you've been marketing to for years that have not used you will eventually begin to use you, so that your growth will go from incremental to exponential. So over a period of years, that your income can double and can triple. And then, the bad news for those of us who record voiceovers is that we can only do what we can do. In other words, if somebody hires you to do the project, you can't farm that out very easily to somebody else because they want your voice on the project. So it really is a matter of time, our time for the money that we make. So then the issue becomes, well, what clients do we want to keep and what clients do we want to politely, let go of? And that typically has to do with how much money we're making from those clients. But be encouraged. It's hard at the beginning. I know it is. I know because I've done that and I've built other businesses, and I understand that there is this much effort goes into getting this much return. But it's not always that way. That's what I want you to understand. If you work your marketing plan and you continually every day put in a certain amount of effort consistently for your marketing, it will grow. And then it will grow to the point where the biggest problem is not marketing yourself enough, but in managing the work that you have. Here is to your voiceover business having exponential growth, which it will do. I know it will do if you consistently market yourself, you treat your clients well, which I'm sure that you do, and they begin to refer you to others, and those that you've been working on for years start to come on board. You will have to deal with managing as opposed to growing your business, and I hope that happens for you very soon. If you have any questions, comments, I encourage you to drop me an email at voiceoverexpert@gmail.com. If you haven't downloaded my free audio program, Six Figure Voiceover Secrets, I encourage you to do that at voice-over-training.org. If you don't have the marketing plan in place, or you've got one and you haven't been working it, start working it today. It's your investment in your business that will pay off over the long run if you work it every day. All the best to you, and talk to you soon.